Across continents, oceans, and cultures, one language echoes in classrooms, airports, movies, business meetings, and the digital world: English. But how did a language born on a small island become the global voice of humanity? This is the story of power, empire, technology, culture, and the incredible journey that made English the most influential language on Earth. How English came to dominate the world. 1. The humble beginnings. The story begins over 1,500 years ago in the British Isles. English did not emerge as a mighty, polished tongue. It was rough, simple, shaped by three tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, who invaded from northern Europe. Their speech mixed. Then Vikings arrived, adding their own language. Later, the Normans conquered England in 1066, bringing French vocabulary. From chaos, conflict, and blending, a new language was born. Old English slowly transformed into Middle English, the language of common folk and storytellers like Geoffrey Chaucer. Little did the world know, this evolving island language was preparing for a global journey. 2. The Age of Exploration and Empire. The 1500s changed everything. England began exploring the world. Ships crossed the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean, and the African coast. Wherever the British sailed, English followed. By the 1800s, the British Empire stretched across continents: North America, the Caribbean, Africa, India, Australia, New Zealand, and beyond. It was said, "The sun never sets on the British Empire," and as long as the sun shone, English spread. Schools, administration, law, trade, everything was conducted in English. Millions learned it not by choice, but by force of empire. Yet, even after the empire collapsed, the language remained, rooted deeply in nations across the globe. 3. The rise of the United States. When the British Empire declined, the United States rose. And with it, English found a second life, not as the language of empire, but as the language of opportunity. America dominated the 20th century through industry, science, technology, entertainment, economics, global politics. American universities attracted scholars. Hollywood captured imaginations. Jazz, rock, hip-hop, all carried English lyrics. Coca-Cola, McDonald's, NASA, Silicon Valley. Brands, institutions, and innovations spoke English. The world listened, and the world learned. 4. English in science, business, and technology. As nations modernized, English became the language of international business, scientific journals, aviation, diplomacy, global trade, the Internet. More than 95% of scientific papers in major journals today are published in English. Pilots and air traffic controllers communicate in English everywhere. The world's most influential tech companies, Google, Apple, Microsoft, use English as their foundation. If you wanted to grow, connect, or innovate, English was the gateway. 5. The Internet and social media era. Then came the digital explosion. When the Internet was born, almost all content was in English. Early programmers wrote in English-based coding languages. Social platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter accelerated its spread. Suddenly, learning English wasn't just useful. It became essential for global communication. From memes to tutorials, business meetings to gaming, English is the default language of the online world. Even people who never study it formally absorb English. Through movies, songs, apps, games, and influencers, English became not just a language, but a digital currency. 6. The real reason English dominates. But the true power of English is not only in history, empire, or technology. It lies in its nature: flexible, easy to borrow words,
a vast vocabulary,
simple grammar, expressive, adaptable. English welcomes new ideas. It absorbs words from every culture. It evolves constantly. That flexibility makes it the perfect global tool.
Glossin moral.
Today, English is spoken by more people as a second language than as a native one. It is not owned by Britain. It is not owned by America. It is owned by the world. Languages rise and fall, but English became global not just through power, but through people who chose it, as a bridge to connect with each other. And so, the story continues, as English remains the shared voice, in a world that speaks thousands of languages.
Hi everyone, I am your white fairy friend. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next adventure.